We are spending 24 hours deep in the Tasmanian wilderness at one of the most iconic places in Australia, Cradle Mountain. We're kicking things off with the famous Dove Lake circuit, taking in some of the most breathtaking alpine scenery you can imagine. After the hike, we'll head back to meet the locals, the Tasmanian Devils, before wrapping up the day with a barbecue at our stunning lodge, hopefully with Cradle Mountain glowing in the background. It's going to be an unforgettable adventure, so let's get into it. Good morning, it is a stunning day here in Cradle Mountain and we've just woken up from our lodge getting the best views of it so far, with the blue sky in behind it too, so it looked amazing. But now we have arrived at Cradle Mountain Visitor Centre, where we've just parked up our car in a very busy car park. So as you can see, there's loads of cars, and we are now heading over to the shuttle bus to take us to Dove Lake Circuit, which is one of the famous circuits to do around Cradle Mountain, which will take us around 3 hours. But we're not too sure how much it's going to cost, so we're just heading over to the centre now to see how much it is. We've just been within the visitor centre in behind us and bought our day pass, which was $29.80 per adult, and now we're going to head over to the shuttle bus, which is actually included in the price. And as you can see, it is getting pretty busy over there, as there's a little bit of a queue, but I think they're fairly often, so hopefully it shouldn't take us too long, as it is only a 20-minute drive to get to our first point, the Dove Lake. We have just been dropped off by the shuttle bus at Dove Lake and we're about to make our walk around the lake. One thing you did have to do was actually clean the bottom of your shoes with disinfectant, as the bacteria can kill all of the baby frogs, which is something I've never had to do before, so that was a really interesting experience. But look at how amazing this looks. So that in front of us is Dove Lake, and then you've got Cradle Mountain and a few other mountains in the background. One thing that is also really good is that we had to write our name down on a registration and write down which walk we're doing and how long we're expected to be out for, so that if you were reported missing, then people would know where you are if you were meant to be still on the walk. We're going to be doing the Dove Lake walk, which is walking around the lake, which I just showed you then, and it should take us, like I said, 2 to 3 hours, and I'll put it on Strava so that I can see just how long it takes. This place is absolutely stunning, with all the mountains and the lake, and that right at the back over there is Cradle Mountain. And if you want to actually climb all the way up to the summit, there is one of the walks, and it takes you between 6 and 8 hours. So definitely not going to be able to do that one today, especially as you want to go and see the the Devils, and also we want to have a nice barbecue back at the lodge, and I can't wait to show you that again a bit later on. And if you've not seen inside the lodge yet, you need to go back and check out yesterday's video, because it was insane. But nice and flattish walk so far, so hopefully it should be a fairly easy one. So our first stop is Glacier Rock, which you can see right there. And the reason it's really groovy is because all of the glaciers, obviously the ice scrapes against the rock and it makes the grooves. But it's really cool because it's now grown loads of trees and stuff on it, so it is a very green glacier rock now. But if you stood here 20,000 years ago, we would have been frozen within a glacier. This is a really nice section where you're just walking through a basically dense greenland all around the lake, and you can see little streams as you're walking around too. The water looks so inviting as well. I'd love to go for a swim in there. It'd be nice, cool and refreshing, as it is quite a warm day today, because it has got the sun beaming down on us, but it can actually snow a lot around here too, especially in the winter months. But thankfully we've not come here during the winter. But we actually had a look on one of the photos, and it had like really sunny picture, and then 48 hours later it was just coated in snow, so it can change rapidly whilst we're up here in the alpine region. So do make sure to bring suitable clothing. I've only brought a short sleeve top. So far I've been all right. Fingers crossed it stays like this, but I didn't realise quite how much that the weather can change whilst you're up here. So definitely recommend bringing like a jumper and maybe even a coat just in case. But I checked the weather forecast and hopefully it should be okay, but I will let you know by the time we get to the end of it. But look at that, absolutely incredible views there of Cradle Mountain. It'd be cool to climb it one day, but we've just not got enough time because we obviously want to do other things too. We've only got 9 days here in Tasmania, so there's lots to do. But if we did come back, maybe that would be quite a cool accomplishment to go and do, climb the actual Cradle Mountain. This walk is beautiful, so it's probably our favourite walk which we have done so far. You get unbelievable views of the lake. Then you've got Cradle Mountain, which is literally just ahead of us up here too. I can't believe some people actually hike all the way up there. Fair play to them. And it's just keep walking through all the greenery, the shrublands. There's not really too much wildlife. You can hear it in the background, but you don't really get to see any, like a couple of the other walks which we have done, where you obviously get to see the kangaroos, the wombats, the wallabies, etc. Also, the further you go, it gets a lot quieter. So some people must just sort of do half of it, turn around and go back, because we're coming up towards the halfway point now and it is a lot quieter around here. There's also lots of nice little stops where you can stop, maybe have a drink, have a banana or something to keep you going. And there's lots of great photo opportunities too to have with either the Cradle Mountain or the lake in the background. And there's a couple of areas where it's sort of like a beachy sort of area. You can't actually stand in the sand, but it does look really nice. So all the way over there is actually where we started. So we've done half the loop and now we're going to head back and do the other half. To be fair, we're ahead of time, definitely about 39 minutes in, so we should be doing it in less than 2 hours as well. So we're absolutely smashing it around right now. This area is really nice. It feels like we are back in the rainforest. Just look at that behind me, it's so impressive. We have now entered the Ballroom Forest, which as you can see is full of luscious trees, and it's all part of this Dove Lake circuit. So this is definitely one which I recommend doing, and it's not too difficult either. I've seen people of all ages doing it, and so definitely recommend giving this one a go. There's another one which you can do which is slightly harder, and I'll tell you about that a bit later on, but there are plenty of walks which you can obviously do in and around Cradle Mountain, from 10-minute walks all the way to 8-9 hour walks. So plenty to choose from. Definitely recommend coming here though and doing it, as it is incredible. Look at this forest, it's just amazing, and it's so quiet now because we're on the complete opposite side from the entrance. It is really cool when you get to spots like this to see just how far you've come. So we obviously went through the forest, which was just down there a moment ago, and we've gone all the way around here, and then you can't see the rest of it as it is on the other side, but it is really impressive. Definitely should come back to Tasmania and maybe do a few more of the walks, or stay in the Cradle Mountain area for a bit longer, complete a few of the different climbs and stuff, and then maybe get to the summit of Cradle Mountain. We've seen a Larry lizard, or is it? I don't even know what it is. Is it a gecko, a lizard? Is it a newt? It might be a newt, I think. Someone let me know down in the comments, wildlife experts. What is that? I'm going with newt. We have now almost made it the whole way around the lake. So the end is literally just in sight over there. Glacier Island, which you walked past right at the start, is over there too. But do make sure you go in a clockwise direction, because if you don't go in a clockwise direction, then you end up going against the other people. So everyone's meant to go left. Once you get to the lake, go all the way around and you'll end up in exactly the same spot. And the nicest side, I'd say, was the second half too, which you get the amazing views, as it is a little bit more undulating. So definitely get some good photos there at the end. And there we go, so we've completed the Dove Lake circuit, which took us just under 2 hours, and we're now going to head back to the minibus to transfer us to our car so we can head over to Devils at Cradle to see some of the local Tasmanian Devils. We are now at Devils at Cradle, which is obviously where we came yesterday to see the famous Tasmanian Devils. But as a quick summary of Cradle Mountain and all the different walks, there's 3 main ones which a lot of people do, which is the one that we did down at Doves Lake. You've also got Ronnie's Creek, which is a much shorter one, and you also get to see wombats, which is really cool. And then you've also got the final one, which is Crater Lake, and that one's slightly longer, a bit more undulating, and you also get to see wombats at the wombat pool. So they're the 3 main ones if you want to do those, but there's obviously plenty of other ones you can do too. And there's also a information centre on the way down, which is really cool. It's got loads of information on the Cradle Mountain, and it's also got waterfalls and short little walks which you can do too. But we're now having our lunch, so it's a homemade lunch today. So I've made myself a little banh mi, a pork banh mi, which actually looks really nice, I have to say. So I've done a good job there. Sat with Cradle Mountain and in the background over there, which is really cool too, just at the picnic bench. This is at Devils at Cradle. We're going to sit here, enjoy our food, and hopefully spot a little bit of wildlife, because while we were at the car park just then down there, a wombat just started walking across the car park. I got a little bit of footage, but wasn't that great of footage, and then he started running off, and it was quite funny because he was like shaking his bum as he ran off. So I'll tell you a little bit more about wombats when we get into there, because there are actually wombats in there, so I'll give you a bit of information on them. But that is one delicious banh mi. So we're now back at the Devils at Cradle, home to Tasmanian devils, quolls, and also wombats. So we're going to go round and have a look at all of those. And if you didn't see yesterday, we actually did one of the night tours. So you can go back and check that video out after you finish this one. But if you want to come just as general admission during the day, it costs you $25 as an adult and $15 as a child. And you still get to see all of the animals, although they're definitely not as active as they were when we came last night. As you can see, there's no Tasmanian devils in here right now which are active, but hopefully we'll find some a bit later on. So one entry, there's a little map which shows you all the different things which you can see and where you can see them, and it gives you a little route so that you can see absolutely everything. And the first one is the eastern quolls. Now, one was just here literally a second ago and it ran off just as I was doing the vlog, so let's go and see if we can find it. So the eastern quoll, which you can see just there, he's got his back to us right now. They're very cute, however, they're not as cute as they look, as they have to be housed in one enclosure to themselves, because otherwise they'll kill each other. So that's not nice to know, but they are really cute when you get to see them up front. Hopefully a bit later on we'll get to see them. So they are actually solitary, so obviously work on their own, and they hunt during the night. So they're quite nocturnal and they get fed at night too here. But next up is the Tasmanian devil. So the famous Tasmanian devil, which is here in Tasmania. So these guys are also vicious creatures, and as you can see, he's currently crunching on a bit of wallaby. So he's been fed some wallaby and he's a very happy guy. But if you might be able to see the little white marks on his bum, this one's not got as many, but they're basically scars. So you can see in how many fights one has been in by how white it is on his bum. We've just been past the wombat enclosure, and unfortunately the wombat was asleep or something, because we couldn't find him anywhere within the enclosure. However, here's a little statue of one just here, so you can see one of them instead. And here is another eastern quoll called Pepper. And you can actually adopt all of the animals which are here in the sanctuary, which is pretty cute. Look, here he comes. He's come to say hello. You can probably smell meat, that's what it is. So the main reason that Tasmanian devils are becoming endangered is because of one disease, which is a cancer, and it is called the devil facial tumour disease, aka the DFTD. And as you can see, it's not nice for the devils, and it's pretty much 100% chance of death. And they basically can pass on this cancer, unlike any other cancer, by either biting each other, because they often quite fight with each other. So when they bite the other one, then that passes on the cancer to them. So it's a bit horrible. It's a bit like a zombie, to be honest, when you come to think of it. And then also they can do it through eating the same meat. So say there was some roadkill, one Tasmanian devil went and had a little bit and left, they had the disease, then the next one would come, eat a little bit of that, and they would catch the tumour too. So horrible thing, really. In this area here, they've actually built 3-metre walls, 1 metre in the ground, 2 metre in the air, to ensure that no other devil can climb over and pass this disease on to the other ones. So it's a good thing what they're doing here, but it is a horrible disease, unfortunately, that they have to go through. Next up is the spotted tail quoll, which you might be able to see just curled up over there, looking really cute. Again, these guys are very vicious, like the eastern quolls, and they're a lot bigger than the eastern quoll too, from what I remember her saying yesterday. So the spotted tail quolls, you can tell are a spotted tail quoll by their spotted tail, obviously, whereas the eastern quolls don't have that spotted tail, they just have the spotted body. Also, when the spotted tails do breed, they actually have 6 children. Hopefully they all grow up to be healthy, and they are tiny, like little embryos, like grains of rice, when they first come out in the pouch. So there are a lot of different enclosures where you can see the Tasmanian devils and the quolls too. However, we've only found one wombat enclosure. I'm not too sure why that is, but a couple of more facts on the Tasmanian devils. So they've got a life expectancy of around 5 years in the wild, whereas here in captivity it's between 7 and 8. Now the reason for this is because in the wild, when they get old, they're unable to compete like the younger ones. The younger ones out-compete the older ones, and therefore they die off because they don't get any food. Whereas here in captivity, because they are fed by just people throwing wallabies into their enclosures, then it is nice and easy for them, so they can last a lot longer. Pancake, I don't think wants to come out and see us, but this is what the wombats actually look like. There's like a big ball of fluff. They actually look really cute, because we went to see some in Cleveland in Adelaide, and they were a bit more ratty with the skin, but these looked a lot furrier. So it would have been cool to have seen one of them, but unfortunately we haven't been able to today. But a couple of facts. One is that they actually build a tunnel which can be from 2 to 20 metres long in the Cradle Mountain region, which is crazy. And it's got loads of little side entrances for its living quarters. And they sometimes have more than one exit, but usually just the one exit, and the second one will be an escape route. They're also nocturnal animals, which is probably why we're not going to be able to see them today, as it doesn't get dark until like 8-9 p.m. And they actually live up to 20 years here in captivity, but usually about 15 in the wild. And so the stars of the show are these little cuties here. So these are the baby Tasmanian devils. And as you can see, they're only 9 months old, which is really cute. This one's actually got a massive scar on his bum already, so you can see that one's a bit of a feisty one. But they're quite cute. You got, I think one's called Narnia, Earl, and Yuki, I believe, is the 3 names. But look at them 3. They are beautiful. You could keep them as a pet until they bit your arm off. Here are all of the different Tasmanian devils and quolls which they have. And I have to say, what a quality name that is. Cauliflower. So that is going to be it for Devils at Cradle. We bought ourselves a little souvenir, which is the wombat. Look how cute they are. And luckily, on the way out, we got to see a wild wombat who was just gnawing on the grass by the side of the road. It was really cool to see them. So we're really happy that we got this. It must have been the little lucky omen as we left, and then one came and said hello and tried to put him in their pouch because they thought it was the Joey. But I'll give you one quick fact on wombats. So wombats actually have their pouch facing backwards. Now, the reason for this is because when they burrow, they obviously don't want all of the dirt and mud going into their pouch. So if they had it the same as like a kangaroo or a wallaby, then when they dug, all the dirt would fill in the pouch, whereas if it's facing backwards, then it's not going to go into the pouch. So if you ever lift up the tail of a wombat, you might actually see a little Joey instead of little poo. Now we're on our way back, looking forward to a barbecue at the lodge. But in my opinion, if you were to come here, I would say go for the tour. So they have the after dark tour with the Tasmanian Devils, and that was really interesting. They told us loads of facts, and if you want to check that out, you can go and check it in yesterday's vlogs. They feed them and then tell you all about them. Although you still got to see all of the animals, even though the wombat we actually saw when we got out, but nonetheless it was a really good experience, and it's really affordable too, and it's right next to where we went for the walks earlier on, so it's not that out of the way either, which is good. So definitely recommend doing it, and I'll see you when we get back to the lodge and we'll go and make a barbie. And to top off our night, we've come out to the love area of our accommodation, which is stunning. Just look at the views which you get in the background. We've already seen like some rabbits run across. We've got all these birds here, potential platypus in the water too, which is really cool. And then there's something making some pig noise behind me, and that is not Beth. So I don't know what that is over there making that noise, but we've made ourselves a barbie. We've got ourselves a burger. We've got the Mexican rice from yesterday. We've got some pork, cauliflower bites, potato salad, etc., etc. All looks delicious. And we've got ourselves a beer that we've just had. And we've also got our apple cider. So if you remember back at the vlog where we're in Bruny Island, we got ourselves an apple cider. So we're going to give it a try right now and see what we think of it. There's some wasp, which is obviously interested probably in the cider. So I'm a bit worried that it's going to jump out at me once I've opened this. We'll see what it looks like first. So I don't really know what a sizer is. What's the difference between a sizer and a cider? Someone will have to let me know down in the comment section below, but it looks like a cider. So let's see what it tastes like. I've definitely had better ciders. Tastes all right though. I'll still enjoy it. It's a bit of alcohol. Lovely evening too, and hopefully we'll get the fire on a little bit later if we're still outside and it's getting a bit cold, but we'll obviously have to see if it gets as cold as it has done the last few days. There's a wasp here and I hate wasps, so hopefully it will go at some point. But we're going to enjoy the views now, enjoy the wildlife. Look at him go in the background there. So you've seen some funny little bunny rabbits doing some hops too, so hopefully we'll get to see loads more wildlife while we're here enjoying our food. That barbecue was delicious. We've had a really good time whilst we've been here in Cradle Mountain, and that was the perfect way to end it, with these amazing views and the wildlife in the fields too. But I do hope you all enjoyed this vlog, and if you did, please do smash that like button and subscribe if you are new, as it goes a long way to supporting the channel. And did you know that 70% of the people watching right now are not actually subscribed? So hit that subscribe button, it's completely free, and you get to watch more of these vlogs going around Australia, Asia, Europe, everywhere. I've got vlogs from all over the world. So tomorrow we're going to be heading over to Hobart, like I said, so we're going to do another road trip vlog, stopping off at lots of different places before we get to Hobart. So do make sure to stay tuned for that, and I'll see you all in tomorrow's vlog.